Welcome to Devon and Cornwall Power BI User Group. We've got a treat in store for you today. Chat GPT with Excel and Power BI by Hopkins. These are the remaining sessions that are coming for the rest of this year and the beginning of next year. As you can see there, we have visualizations, we have Power Automate, we have Fabric, Geospatial Analysis, Power Automate and Power BI. Again, a deep dive from Tabular Editor, error capturing and some data storytelling. Everything every Tuesday 6 p.m. Unless otherwise stated, but come and join our meetup group. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Win, who is going to take us through a roller coaster of a ride of ChatGPT with Excel and Power BI.
Awesome. So thank you. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, Win Hopkins. I'm based in Perth, Western Australia, originally from Swansea, so just across the water from the Devon and Cornwall group. So moved over to Perth about 17 years ago and been working for this company developing Power BI and Excel solutions and running training in those areas as well. Also, I am a Microsoft MVP. I've been one since 2017, and that's an award that Microsoft give people for sort of sharing their knowledge with the community. I've got a YouTube channel that's been going pretty well, doing lots of nerdy videos and things on Excel and Power BI, which is awesome. Just hit 74,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting.
Very, very.
And then 4 million views plus, so that's pretty awesome. So that's all going well. I'm really down to about, of the 200 odd videos I've done, it's about 6 videos that make up most of those numbers, which is just bonkers. So yeah, just get started with YouTube and you never know what happens. Okay, so what am I talking about? So I'm going to focus on this area on the left for this session using GPT-4 with Excel and Power BI. I was hoping, when we sort of started talking about these sessions and things, to demonstrate Copilot, which is OpenAI's version inside Microsoft, so for 365 or for Power BI. But currently, I'm not going to be able to demo it to anybody because for 365, you need 300 licenses. And for Power BI and Fabric, you need the premium or Fabric 64 SKU, which is the $7,000 a month. And my little company doesn't have enough money for that, so I won't be demoing that, but you'll see the logic. I'll even show you a quick video if there's time at the end of what's coming in Power BI, but you get the concept from this sort of AI stuff. Okay, so it's all about getting your data from somewhere, analyzing it, presenting it, and of course I had to use Chat GPT to create those images just because for a bit of fun. Right, enough slides. Let's get into some demos. Okay. So starting off, where do you go? Okay, so openai.com, and then you sign up for ChatGPT. You need to use the paid version to get the best results. It's $20 a month. That's GPT-4. The 3.5 version, I've had mixed results, not so great and much more limited. So honestly, best $20 a month I ever spent. It's just, I use it for everything. I don't Google for anything anymore. I Chat GPT everything. If you're worried about sensitivity, you can turn off your chat history and model training, so your data doesn't train the model and then isn't available. You still got to sort of, just be careful of what you're using. You can even ask them, you can send them an email as a little form. If you scroll down this little list down here, I'll show you how to get here in a second. You can ask them to turn it off and, just don't track your changes. So, okay, let's get into a bit of this. Right, so the whole setting thing just under here, this is ChatGPT with an OpenAI. Under settings, data controls, you can turn off chat history and training, but you do lose all your history down the side. But your data is a bit more secure. So but generally just don't use sensitive data for doing this sort of stuff. All right, so rather than me typing, I'm going to start off by prompting and copying and pasting. So I need some help creating an Excel file containing fake data. All right, So here we go. I haven't set anything up in advance, and I get mixed results with this demo, so I never know which way the demo is going to go, which makes it more fun. Okay, it doesn't give me the same answer. Well, most of the time it gives me the same answer twice, but it's asking me sort of what kind of data, all this sort of stuff. Just give it some help. Right, so I'm just going to copy in and paste in this. So I need fake sales data for 4 different products: apples, oranges, lemons, strawberries. Okay, 100 rows with a product name, a product code. Columns are 12 months. So I'm just using it to generate some data for me to play about with, and add a 50% uplift to lemon sales in March. Okay, lock that one in. All right, we're going to do some analysis on it later. Right, so here we go, and off it goes, and it can create me an Excel file containing this data, which is pretty cool because you can actually give it a little sample of your own data, maybe 1 row, and say, create me 100 more rows with made up versions if you're really worried about the sensitivity of what you're doing. So I'm just giving it, some instructions, and off it goes, and it's only doing this with the version 4, Chat GPT 4, which you do have to pay for. Okay, $20 per month. But honestly, I use it for everything. It's just brilliant. Okay, and of course, because it's a demo, it's gone error analyzing, and it appears there is an issue, and it's going to try again. Okay, if it wasn't, the demo gods might be happy with me. Luckily, I've got one I prepared earlier if it does fail, but we'll hopefully get it to work this time. It's really, I've done this demo and I've tried it out with all sorts of things, probably 50 times, and I think it's failed twice. So it doesn't fail very often. This will probably prove me wrong now. You are limited to a certain number of issues. All right, so all I'm going to do is I am going to take this. I'm just going to start a brand new one. I'm going to give it one more go. Okay.
I think it's always useful when it does go wrong, because that's what happens in real life, doesn't it? There's something, about having the perfect demo is great, but this is what happens to us.
You can keep prompting it, and you can go, sometimes even just refreshing your browser and logging out and logging back in fixes it up, I found. So let's try one more go. And if it doesn't work, I'll just open up the actual file that I downloaded previously. Let me just, while that's running, let me go onto another screen and see if I've actually, hopefully I've got a
not
version
only
I should
are you
have.
teaching us Chat GPT, you're teaching us how to prepare for the demo gods, having a fix.
Always have something else. Let's have the question in there. Are you generating geospatial data? I haven't. What GPT won't generate real address data. It just, there's a block on it. So if you're trying to generate, you can do latitude and longitudes and that sort of stuff, but it won't generate real addresses. You can generate fake addresses, but there's some block on it for generating random real addresses. Same thing in Bing Chat and all the other sort of AI driven ones.
It's quite nice that you can put the latitude and longitude in. Yeah,
and sort of just generate some maps and bits and pieces. Okay, so this is ticking along. Sometimes it's super quick. Sometimes, if I guess loads of people are using the resources, it slows down a bit. And let's just see, when it starts to do it, it normally kicks it out pretty quickly.
I love the way you're using Google. You're using this instead of Google. I hadn't thought, but what?
Yeah, honestly,
it's so fabulous.
I've got it on my phone. I've got the GPT app on my phone, and essentially, I'm just doing everything on there. So it's just so useful because you can just ask follow-up questions and you ask it to give you links to where it got its data from. I was in the shopping centre with my mother-in-law last week, and there was an expensive car on show, and she said, I wonder how much that is. I took a photo, uploaded it, said, how much is this? And it said, this is the Bentley Continental, it's $300,000 and blah blah blah, and give me just like bonkers.
I think I'm going to be trying that.
Right, here we go. Right, it's worked this time. So there we go. Download fake fruit and veg sales. So let's click on that and see what happens. Here we go. Here's the Excel file. Open it up. Take a second or two. Beautiful. All right, so there's my fake data created just on the fly there with my oranges and my apples and strawberries and things, and a whole bunch of random different codes. Maybe these are subclasses of oranges and different farms that have delivered them, or whatever it might be. Okay, so inside Excel, there is a fairly average bit of AI under the Home tab. It's called Analyze Data. Okay, so if I click that, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's meh, it's a bit hit and miss. So for example, if I inserted this chart, let's go for this one. It's just given me all the numbers for the different products for February, which isn't very useful, and a line chart is not the right chart for that. You can do other things. It's given you some other suggestions, show all 25 results. It gives us some various other how many times does May get a transaction? Again, not many, some outliers. Maybe that's interesting, but some other bits and pieces. But really, if anybody's ever done any analysis like this, the first thing you realize is your data is not in the right shape. We need our months in columns. Okay, that's what you really need. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, all right, that the data isn't organized well for doing pivot tables. So the data is not organized well for doing pivot tables. Please change it. Okay, so off it goes, and hopefully it'll, change that little layout. Let me close down that file. I don't need to save. I don't need it. And it's saying I will adjust the layout to the long format. Okay, so instead of separate columns, there will be two columns, one for month and one for sales amount. So Power Query fans, unpivot other, basically. So it's going to do that for me. It's actually going to flip that around. Okay, and here's going to be the revised Excel file, and I can download that. And here we go. So all those things, I might not know quite the right terms to use, and I'm being fairly general, and I haven't pre-prepared or pre-prompted any of this. I'm just doing it live, and there we go. All right, that's a bit better. There's product name and everything else. So with this, if I go to the Home tab and Analyze Data, it might give me a better result. Okay, and I actually can ask it a question, a bit like you can in Power BI. I want to see sales by month as column chart. Let's see if it does any good. Look at that. Cool. Insert pivot chart, but it's in the wrong order. Right. So it's built me a pivot chart in a couple of clicks, which is pretty cool. But how do I get my months to sort and stuff like this? So what I really want is, rather than an alphabetical month, I really want a date, but I don't know the formula in Excel to give me the date for January. Okay, so what do I do? So January's in cell C2. So let's go back into ChatGPT, and I've just got these prompts pre-prepared because it's just boring seeing me do typos. I have the word January in cell C2 of the exported file. Give me the Excel formula to convert that to a proper month-end date. Okay, and again, I've had mixed results with this. Sometimes it's brilliant, sometimes it's awful. So that is that's clever. That's not done this one before. So it's assuming that I want the year, because it only says January, but it's assuming I want the year for today and the day as well. Let's see what this does. This may be nonsense. It may be quite useful. So let's go in here, paste the formula. All right, and we'll format that as a short date. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to highlight the whole thing. Just this one as a short date. There you go, 31st of January 2023, and copy it down. So that formula looks a little bit overly complicated. I could probably ask it to simplify it, but that'll do. All right, and for now I can say date, and then I can reanalyze my data. Okay, and I can say, I want to see, I've even got here some nice data now. So insert pivot table. There we go. There's my analysis. And I, just prompted it. I didn't know what the formula was. I've just created this. So these things working together, this analyzed data is pretty cool. It doesn't explain how it did it though, which is the bit I don't like. The bit I love about Chat GPT is you can ask it, how the hell did you do that? And it'll show you and walk you through the steps. So Pretty
you can
cool,
save it as well for later, can't you? You can read it and save it in ChatGPT for later. Yeah.
So there you go. There's all sorts of bits and pieces in there. But for now, that one will do. All right, let me close it. Shall I save it? Yeah, let's save it. All right. So let's say I want to do a Power BI report instead. And I just want to tap into that original export. And I want Power BI to unpivot it and stuff. Okay, so I've got a little dummy little model set up here. Let me just show you. It's really simple. I've got a little calendar table. Okay, that's it. And a little pre-prepared thing here. But I want to bring in that sort of Excel data and unpivot it. So let me go into Chat GPT and say, paste. Oops, don't want to zoom out that far. Okay, give me the Power Query code to import sheet 1 of the original file and convert it into the correct layout. Now, that's all I've told it. Didn't tell it what to do. I just said correct. So you're being very loose and free with that term, so you can get very weird results. But let's see what happens. Will it give me, the Power Query code? Okay, so here we go. It's telling me what to do and how to do it. Can we click the transform data button and do all those things? Use this M code. And you can now access the advanced editor button from the home tab. So it's teaching you some of these things. There we go. Look, table, unpivot other columns. Yes, good old Power Query. And it's telling me I'm going to have to replace my path to your Excel file. Okay, so let's just copy this code. And let's go into Power BI, click the transform data button. Okay, and I'm going to just go and create a new blank query and go to the advanced editor button and paste that code in. And it won't work because my file path up here is not valid yet. And I know this isn't going to work properly. It's done this a few times, but let me just go in here to my source and browse to my downloads folder. Fake root, that was the original one. Click OK. All right, so then it goes navigation step, and it's trying to find a table called sheet 1, which I happen to know is a sheet. Okay, and again, if you get the warning message, you copy that message into ChatGPT, tell it the warning message. It goes, oh, sorry, it's looking for a sheet. And then it's unpivoted other columns, but it hasn't actually promoted the headers yet, so it missed that step. So, I didn't want to try and prompt it. This is what happens in real life. You have to know some of this stuff. It's an assistant. It doesn't replace you, okay, yet. And then we unpivot. Beautiful. Okay, so there we go. Then if I want to use add column from examples, if people aren't familiar with this in Power BI, absolutely awesome, or in Excel, Power Query, add column from examples, and I can type in 01 Jan 2023, 01 Feb 2023, and it works out your formula there. Okay, it grabs a text start, the first 3 characters, and tags on 2023 on the end, which is pretty cool. And I can call that the date. Okay, and then click OK. Awesome. And I can right click and remove that column. And this needs to be something like a decimal number. Okay, and then that needs to be a date. And then I happen to know it's a right click to turn that into an end of month. I can just go right click, transform month, end of month. But maybe I don't know those clicks. So I'm going to go right click, add column from examples, and find that there. And the nice thing is, as soon as I type 31 to get the month end, it says, hey, do you want the end of the month? And I do. And there we go, done. Okay, so I could do that as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm just going to delete that step. Right, everybody okay? I'm just going to change that to text. Any pressing questions? I'm not even looking at the chat, so I'm just clicking
No questions.
No,
you've had some claps, smiles, and lots of happy people. From Christian, he says you're being optimistic that it doesn't replace you yet.
Yes.
So
Yet is doing a lot of lifting there.
Yeah. Lots of claps and thumbs up and smiles. Cool. So a very happy set of listeners.
So let's just launch this. And let's say I'm a beginner in Power BI, so I don't, I've not really used much before, but I just want to create I just want to create a little chart. So I have in my fruit data that column called sales. So I'm just going to double click on my page, and that doesn't work on this page because it's been doing something weird. So I'm going to add the little Q&A visual, but normally you can just double click on a page to launch that, or you can click that little button. And this has been around for ages. You know, it's not well, it sort of is AI, I guess, to some extent. It's a bit of a loose term, AI. It's algorithms and stuff, sort of, but it's not large language model stuff. So I just want to say sales. Let's see what it gives me. It might whir away. It might take a minute, might take less. Sometimes it's instant. Normally the first time you do it, it has to go off and start thinking about what it's trying to do. So yeah, the Copilot stuff that's coming, you will need to have a paid version of Fabric F64, which is about 7,000 Aussie dollars, 5,000 US dollars a month, or the P1 version of Premium, which is again the same amount. So yeah, that's how Copilot is going to be launched for Power BI users. Right, sales, and then I want to say by month. Beautiful, except the number's not right. Okay. So what do? I don't really know. I'm not really sure why the numbers are showing the same. So check this out. I'm just going to screenshot this and ask ChatGPT what's wrong to suggest some fixes. Okay, so into here, suggest why my chart might be showing the same number, the sales, repeatedly. Okay, and again, don't load up sensitive data, as I said before. So, or if you are doing this, then make sure you turn off that training. There is a version of OpenAI they're talking about in the next few months, providing all their CEOs and everybody is still there. That will be a business license, which would be a bit more secure. There's already an enterprise version, but you have to be really big to get onto that. So coming soon. Okay, here we go. The data might be referring a single cell or static value. The data being visualized may not actually vary. Okay. Now, I didn't tell it that this was a Power BI chart. So maybe I'll just go stop and I'll say, this is a Power BI chart. Suggest issues to troubleshoot. Okay. And I'm making this up. I've not done this before in this way in a demo. So I've done this demo once or twice before. Data model issues. Ensure the underlying data model correctly reflects the relationship. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to link up my relationship in my data model. Oh, okay. So I'm going to go into my data model. That's what I forgot to do. I've not hooked this up. Okay. But I don't even know what to hook up. So I'm doing another screenshot. All right, chuck that into Chat GPT and say, here's my model. My model. What should I do? All right, let's just check that out. And again, I don't know if it's going to give me an answer or not, but there's a table name. So it's scanning these tables and getting the names out of the image. Including date, product code. There's also a calendar table, which is good practice. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. Ensure there is an active relationship between the date column and the date column in the calendar table. All right. It's just insane. It's just insane. Okay, so let me go and do that. Date up to date. Okay, and let's go and look at my chart. Yay, it's working. Cool. All right, so I'll just turn that into a proper chart. This is just bonkers. All right. So I remember those lemon sales. I did an uplift in March of 50%. I just still love showing this feature. It's been around for about 5, 7, 6 years. Right click, analyze, explain the increase in March. Okay. And off it goes and does a bit of, sort of regression analysis and things and tells you the different product codes or look, lemons. Wow. What an uplift in lemons. And then I can add that chart in here. Okay, so there's my explanation of what caused the increase, which is just bonkers. And I can even add, I think there's I don't use this very much, but the smart narrative visual, if I drop that on the page, there's my sort of descriptions about, what happened in that month, and I can do other stuff with that. So all this stuff is not Copilot. I'll show you a quick demo at the end with a video because I can't have access to it. This has been around for ages, but if people are new to this, I just like showing them it. Cool. All right.
No questions. Just the key to all of this is using Chat GPT properly and asking the right questions.
Yeah.
So
you learn how
prompting.
to ask better. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, lots and lots of wows. So thank you.
So I'm just going to go right click. I know enough to know I should be doing a measure rather than using implicit stuff. So sales dollar equals the sum of the fruit data sales. Okay, just going to format that. Cool. But I'm not sure how to do a total year to date. So I'm going to go into a little pre-prepared one I've got in here somewhere, which is not that one. Let me open up this one and go into Chat GPT here. Okay, and go into my DAX helper. There we go. So these little things, these are called GPTs. So basically you can create your own set of prompts and rules and then store them in here now. And this is part of the subscription, part of the $20 a month. I can go into Explore and you can add and create your own. You can give it instructions about what you want it to do. For my DAX helper, I've told it to format my DAX in a certain way and, comment it and use variables and all this sort of stuff. And you can actually share these with people, and they're going to be creating a store at some point, so you can actually sell and monetize these things, which would be pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to go into my DAX helper, and I'm going to say I have a measure called sales dollar, but I need total year to date version. Okay, and this, to be honest, this would work without using this helper. You could just type this in and it'd probably do a great job. But here we go. It assumes I've got a calendar table, quite right too. And there's my little DAX formula. Okay, I'm going to copy that code, go back into my report, right click, new measure, chuck it in here, give a tick. And hopefully then if I swap this out, sales for total sales year to date, that's my cumulative total. Brilliant. Okay. Now, inside Power BI, there's a sneaky little thing, right click, new quick measure. Okay. Which has this thing called suggestions with Copilot. All right. Now, this is a bit small. I can't really zoom in because it goes a bit blurry. Suggestions with Copilot. This isn't Copilot. All right. I think it's a misnomer. And if I paste in the same question, I didn't actually copy it. Let me go back. I have a measure called sales dollar, but I need a total year to date version. Okay, so let me go back into here. And I go generate. Now this is inside the model, so it should have the context of what the model is. And this is what it's given me, which is not great. And then I realized that I could only actually see this formula by going into another formula, making this smaller, and this goes smaller. So that's the formula it's written, and it's just giving me the year to date as of today, which isn't what I want. So I guess it gave me what I asked for, but not what I meant. So yeah, it's okay, but I've never really found much success with this. And you can't ask it follow-up questions. You can't ask it to edit it. You can't say, this didn't work, what should I do? So it's a nice buzz feature, but I don't think it's, very practical. So there we go. Cool. Okay.
And I guess, yeah, if you're asking fiscal year to date as well, then it's going to struggle even more.
Yeah. You realize you didn't ask it. And what is this preview value? What does that mean? What year? So it's going to based on today's year, but yeah, I just don't like this. I don't teach anybody it. I don't recommend anybody uses it. But the Chat GPT stuff, pretty good. Also in here, if I close that little window down, I've got some little images here. Let me go to my model and ensure that my what Product name is linked up to my little fruit table. Cool. Okay, so I use Chat GPT to create a few little images. So I've got fruit, and then I've got some nice images. There we go. Okay, I can scroll down here a bit, and I can tick my sales. Okay, so here's my various bits and pieces, and I've probably labeled something different, so it's slightly out. But what did I do? Okay, so under my GPTs, I've got an imaginator, which basically is used to create images in a certain style. So here we are. I'm just going to create 4 fun stickers for my Power BI report. Okay, sticker book images for apple, orange, lemon, strawberry, and I want them to have Australian themes. Okay, because I want my Power BI report to be a bit more sort of, Aussie feeling. So that'll run away, and I'll come back to the screen in a minute. I'll wait for this first one to generate. I've also set up in this little prompt, this Imaginator prompt, I've told it at the end to ask me if I'd like to download it as a zipped folder. So it'll create all the images, and then I've told it, just prompt me, do I want it zipped? And then it'll just download all the images.
I love these, Win. I haven't used these. I've just started to look at them, but it's just fabulous, isn't it? That you can focus on a specific.
There's an apple at the
Opera
House.
And then you've got the Aussie backgrounds. And a koala.
What's more Aussie than
a kangaroo?
So then if I add a new page here and go ChatGPT again, so while that's running, it should continue. There's an orange with a koala, lovely.
And the beach.
And the beach. So if I go in here, and I even did this stupid one the other day. So any Gavin and Stacey fans, I've got this little die one. So it's basically telling it to answer all questions with some Welsh humour, which is, let's learn a Welsh word today. So, and it does everything in the style of sort of Gavin and Stacey. There you go.
I have mine talking to me like Jack Bauer from 24.
Nice.
Yosu.
There you go. The Welsh word cwtch, which means to sort of cuddle. So lovely. That's a nice little
we
word.
are getting some questions about how you create these GPTs.
Okay, cool. I'll show you now. So there's a lemon surfing, and there's a strawberry next to a saltwater crocodile, which will kill you as soon as it looks at you. Right. And the other thing I asked it to do was give me the generation IDs. Now, those IDs I can use to generate more stickers in the same style. So I can go create me a sticker for a banana in the style of, and then paste that ID in.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Brilliant.
Okay, and then would you like to download these as a zipped folder? And I can say yes and install them. And then I can use them in my icons or images or button slicers and stuff now.
And it's all copyrights, okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yours, copyright free, which is brilliant.
That's
that
brilliant,
is a very happy crocodile.
Very happy.
So yeah, these things over here, these GPTs, you just go explore, you go create a GPT, and I'll help you build one. What would you like to make? Okay, and I'd like to make an Excel Lambda advisor. Okay, and then it'll just create you a little logo, and then it'll prompt you into what questions, how do you want it to sound, what do you want it to include, what do you want it to exclude, and you can then just share the link with anyone. As long as they've got GPT-4, they can run it on their, it uses up their allowance of requests. How about naming this GPT Lambda Guide? Okay, there's my sort of icon, and I can change it, and I go sure. And off you go, and you just change the names of things. Okay.
Lovely.
And then it'll just prompt you.
This isn't. Someone asked, about whether this was available in 3.5. Many of the features, and I just reiterated to them that this is Chat GPT 4, and you'd not had much success with 3.5, and it's so worth paying that, like you say, that $20.
Yeah, 3.5. You can't upload images, download images. You can't get it to write code for you really well. It's hit and miss. Some people go, yeah, I've had great results, which is cool, but I think it just gives you more hallucinations and made up stuff. So yeah, it's just basically coming through. You prefer to change it, and you can just go through and build it. So then, like for example, my Power Query Magician, which I'll show you right now, I'll then show you the code behind it. So I'd like to clean up my calendar table. So here's my Power Query calendar, okay? And here are my steps down the side, okay? Some formula, convert it to table, custom, 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 custom. I haven't named it. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, I've been really lazy. So what I'm going to do is go into the advanced editor. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I realized yesterday. I can just right click, copy my calendar there. I can go into the GPT and say, can you clean up this document code? I've just told it how I want it to be documented, my structure, the way I like things indented and named. You know, I want camel case and all this sort of stuff. And I've also said, what name would you like to use and develop by? And I'll say Sue Bays. Okay, go. Okay, thank you. Please go and share. So crediting Sue Bays, and I'll just paste this code in. Go for it. And it'll basically go through my code, documenting it, renaming the steps to be more meaningful, telling me overall what it does. The script generates a calendar table. Okay. And then off it goes, just generating my calendar table and cleaning up my code and commenting every step. So this stuff is things that takes you half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but just doing it over and over again. You got to, you know, you got to be testing this.
This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
You can easily drop in an error, and you just have to know, you know, what it's done, and you've got to validate it and check it.
Like you say, prompting all the time, you know, it's giving me this error, I think it's this, and then you're just helping it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And see, camel case. Have you told it camel case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even told it to add the word filter in capital letters before every filtering step, so the filter step stands out.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's just, this was called custom 1, this was called custom 2. You know, now it's saying remove the original quarter, rename, add. So it's doing all these things for me. It's renaming all my steps based on what the step is doing. Okay, which is awesome. Right, so while that is running, I'll come back in here and just go into this. Or sorry, I'll go explore and just show you how it works. Power Query Magician. Here we go, edit, configure. So I'll pop this out. This is the instructions. Okay, you've told it that it's a professional expert in Power Query, and its primary reason is to make M code simple and understandable. I've told it to ask who's it developed by, add a summary overview, rename each line of M code using camel case. If you can give it examples as well, it really helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't bother renaming change type steps. Leave those. Add the word filter in front of things. Okay. And I also then tell it to recheck its workings sometimes. I should do it here as well. Double check its valid M code. Right. So let me go back here. And maybe I jumped away and it didn't like it. Damn it. Power Query Magician. But all right, let me just chuck that in and I'll let it run again. I thought clicking away, clicking away used to...
Is it on the other tab? You've got another tab open.
Have I switched between different tabs without realizing it? Let me check this one. Have I got 2 tabs on here? So here's the cleanup and document. Oh, there you go. Cool. Thank you. So yeah, so I'm just going to copy that code. There you go. Developed by Sue. It is the right one. Too many tabs open. Go back into my Power BI report. I'd recommend you make a duplicate just in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then go into here and then paste your code in. Okay. Nicely documented code. Done. Right. But this time, the first time ever I've been doing this demo, it decided to freak out. So where did it freak out? It was working down here. It was working to there. It was working all the way down here. And then something, okay, this last little step added a year quarter column. Oh no, final change type step. What was the column called? YYQQ.
Is it because it's not a text? It hasn't got if you go across, it hasn't got the type. So it might not then be able to do the...
there's no dash.
Okay.
Sneaky. So that's the issue. Again, it's a helper. It doesn't do everything for you. But there you go. That's my code nicely cleaned up, and every step is now documented.
Oh, lovely.
All making sense, all with nice documentation. Missing hyphen, well spotted, Claire. Legend.
Perfect, Claire.
Okay, so then if I close this down, all right, let's say I've built a report and I'd like some advice. You see everybody posting on LinkedIn, please rate my report. And you get some mixed advice from people. So
Nicole's asking,
can
you, she just said, oh, is it gone?
Can you please show the
query before you made the changes in the duplicate table?
Before you made the changes. Oh, yes. Sorry, if I go back in here. This one.
Yeah, with the custom, that one.
You just want a reminder of the before and after? Yeah, so that was the before. It had all these custom steps, converted to tables, some formula, and it wasn't documented or set up in any nice way. Just had all this. So yeah, that sort of stuff. Imagine just inheriting somebody else's report.
Yeah.
Chucking that code in, it documents and explains what it's doing for you.
Yeah.
Just bonkers. All right. And then coming towards the last little couple of demos, I am going to close that one down and open up another little dashboard. Okay. Called, let me just minimize that a second. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I'm not going to do a dash. I'm just going to do a screenshot. So I'm going to go back into Chat GPT and I am going to say I'd like some help with a dashboard to give me some feedback. So here we go. Here's my little prompt. Act as a data visualization specialist and provide advice on design and content. I'll upload an image of my report. So again, this isn't using one of my pre-prepared prompts. That is my prompt. Okay. You'll get better results if you refine your prompts over time. Okay, and I'm just going to upload. Where is it? Here we go. Where's my image? Dashboard not great. Okay. Upload this. And here we go. Right, it's going to have a look at that little dashboard and go, right, here's what you could do to make it better. Color consistency. Okay. Ensure the labels, reduce the clutter, simplify the pie chart. They're often difficult to read. Okay, consider using a bar chart. So it's recognizing these elements. It's recognizing like the font size is a bit small. It's recognizing my formatting isn't consistent. So, it's saying the bar chart is showing sales by year and month is good, but maybe provide some filters, provide some comparatives. Just, what's the call to action? So yeah, just lots of useful stuff.
This is just copy and paste and popped it in, and you haven't, it's not like your DAX helper or anything where you've given it guidance. It's
no, this is a brand new, that's all the prompt I've given it.
Wow.
I know, it's just nuts. This stuff was terrible 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's just gone. And every week or month, they're adding some new functionality to upload things like that ability to analyze the data model. I hadn't tried that until 2 weeks ago. So
that's perfect, because that was one of the criticisms, wasn't it? That how will it know if it doesn't look at your data model? Yeah. You just copy and paste and pop it in.
Yeah. No hour describing it. You can even paste the image and say, describe my data model, and it will. You can tweak what it said if it's got some stuff wrong and said, right, this is my data model, and paste that back in. And then it understands it better. So all this iterative stuff is just crazy. Right, last little one here, and I'll just kick this off running, and I'm going to jump back in Excel and show a couple of little Excel things to finish off. So I have a folder here, okay? Let me just chuck this up here. With, I've got a zipped version of it, but all that's in here is an Excel file with some sales data and some lookup tables with product code, customer name, the things we'd build a VLOOKUP for, a relationship between. I'm just going to load it up and see what it says. So here we go. I'm just going to say, I want to analyze some data that is set up in 2 Excel files in a zip folder. Okay, this whole thing is a 50-50 for demos. Sometimes it works, sometimes it dies horribly. So here's a step-by-step approach. Extract. You'll need to extract the files. Okay, it's telling me what I wanted to do is actually just. Okay, you're trying to make me do too much work, ChatGPT. I want you to do the work.
I love that.
And I'm getting less and less polite the more I use ChatGPT. It used to be, please, can you? And
yeah,
now
I
I'm
do. I say please and thank you,
yeah,
and that's really helpful.
can you? Would you mind awfully? You know, just like,
yeah.
right, here we go. I'm just going to upload this. And again, don't load sensitive data. Or if you are, turn off the data analysis option and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to let that. I'm going to let that run. Okay, I'm going to put it on another screen. Oh yeah.
Have you tried uploading BIM files for Data Model Analyzer?
No, but I think I heard somebody had done that and tried it out, or they were building a little BIM analyzer GPT on the side here.
Yeah, I think I tried and it was intermittent, but that was a couple of weeks ago. So, like you say, try again.
Yeah. So while this was
and Claire says, remember to be polite when you start talking to real people.
Yeah, I know. That's the trap. So there it goes. It extracts the files. It's having a look at them. It's proceeding to analyze them and work out the structure of them. So I haven't told it anything about it, right? And I've got a price and a quantity column. I don't have a sales column. So it's going to have to work out, and it's writing Python in the background, running all this stuff, and I can ask it to show me the Python and stuff. Okay, so sometimes it fails, sometimes it works. I'll leave it to run. While it's running, I just want to show you one cool thing in Excel. So under here, Generative Labs. Okay, I've got another thing that just explains crazy formulas, but I saw this one the other day and I thought I've forgotten that this generative lab things existed. Okay, so if you install via add-ins, if you install the Excel Labs add-in, okay, that gives you a whole bunch of stuff like Lambda editor, the advanced formula bar, but it also gives you this sort of generative AI thing, which is you just start your formulas with labs.generative AI. So I've got 3 words here, 3 sentences, and I want to rate them in terms of what's the word? Sort of to give me some context, to give me some sensitivity feedback, and what sort of sentiment analysis was the word I was struggling for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just got this little formula. Okay, if B8 equals stop, then say ready, steady. Okay, otherwise do this little thing. Okay, so if I get rid of my word stop, it should go off to OpenAI. I had to put in my token. Okay, I had to put in my token, and there you go, sentiment analysis, positive, negative, neutral. So it's gone off to AI, called the API from OpenAI. You need to pay for that. It costs about 1 cent per query, something like hardly anything. And if I change some of this stuff is okay. Okay, let's see. It'll just go off again and pull your stuff back. So you can actually, refer to cells. There you go, neutral. Sentiment, that sort of thing.
That's
just
nice.
Do all sorts.
I like the way you've got the stop. You put the stop in to stop it working.
Yeah, just good for demos, so it doesn't spoil the surprise.
Yeah.
Right, so let me just go back. Let's see how it's getting on. I've forgotten which one I was even in. Okay, here we go. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. Now that we've correct structure, let's proceed. What specific analysis would you like? All right, let's do some monthly sales dollar trend by customer name and product name. And this is the last thing, and then I'll show you a 1-minute video showing what's coming from the Power BI, and then we'll be open for some chats and questions. If this works, awesome. You're one of the 50% that this has worked for.
We're sending positive vibes.
Yeah,
come
on,
GPT. We're saying,
drum
please, Chat GPT, be nice.
Come on. Let's see. Sometimes it just goes, oh, there was an error doing it, and I've got to go and rework it and stuff like this. So. Okay.
You could obviously say to it, show me the Python code that you use to.
Yeah, you could just say export. Just export the Python code as show me the code.
I was playing with Excel and Python the other day, and it was just brilliant.
Okay, so I want to say, give me a bright green column chart showing trend. For lemon, oh no, this is coffee sales, certain trend for customers by month. And then you can actually download these charts. You can save them as JPEGs. It doesn't replace what we're doing, but maybe, in the near future, this is a quick and dirty that gives you a sense, and you've still got to know your data. It can make stuff up.
Yeah. And you could say to it, can you, I love your well-being break. That's fabulous.
Let's have a little break.
You could say, give me the power. What have you got? Yeah, you could say, write me the pandas code, or give me the code for the data viz as well, so you can see it and then put it in.
So put year and month on x-axis and just show antelope. And again, so you just go in here and you query it, and you can download these charts, and you can say, can you download them all in a zipped folder or whatever?
Yeah.
So yeah, just pretty stunning. All right, you get the idea though. Oh, let's give it 10 seconds if it does it. There we go.
Ah, nice. Yeah, nicely, all the dates diagonally, just so you can see it.
And I did not have sales I had units, and that's giving me dollars. So pretty crazy. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's just go back into here just to wrap this up. And I'll show you this let me click on this little link. This is a 2-minute demo. I don't think I've got the sound.
What did you say? We had to have fabric. You'd have to have.
So this is just showing what Copilot is potentially capable of in Power BI if you have the F64 or P1.
64,
Again,
P1.
I'm always a bit dubious of the marketing demos. All right, they're never going to show you not working. They don't show you how much work's gone into the back end and how many times they've reworded this to get it to work. But
it's like the 5 minutes to wow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's the CSV file, which is just absolutely perfect, and you can create this.
But this is what they're claiming that can do, just from that couple of sentences. Question: what volume of data can you feed at Chat GPT? Honestly, I don't know. I'm really not sure. So I guess, it'd be. I don't know.
I think
let me ask it.
Yeah,
this is the thing. I keep forgetting. I can just ask it.
You can just ask. I tried to put in my my Garmin data, and it was too much, but I can't remember how much that was. But again, that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Analyze.
Yeah, same, Christian.
There you go.
25
so 25 meg file for a single file. Complexity, restraints to this environment. You could probably keep asking it questions about, is there a row limit?
There is a you can only ask so many questions is it per hour or per?
Yeah, I think it's like a 3-hour slot now. There's like 40 questions per 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And you get kicked out. The limit is crucial indirectly. So there's no real row limit. It's just the file's got to be less than 25 meg.
Yeah.
So this is just a taste of what's coming. That's the thing. This is just the start, and the start is rapidly. This is a race. This is a sprint, not a marathon. This is going to just accelerate massively. So yeah, they're just swapping out here. They're giving it, swapping out a particular visual. They're then asking it to change a particular visual, or, just that sort of thing with a narrative, and it just goes off. And so this is what's going to be built into Power BI. It's already being rolled out. It's going to be rolled out everywhere by March. But again, you need that big premium money. Yeah. Same thing with Excel. The OpenAI for Excel, the Copilot for Excel only comes if you have 300 E3 or E5 licenses. And then you've got to jump through a whole bunch of other hoops as well. So, that's where it is. Cool.
I think it's getting that mindset, like you said, not putting it into Google, putting it into Chat GPT. If you're paying for that license.
Yeah, everything. I just do, 40 questions a day is quite a lot, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just prompt it, re-ask it. It's just a bit mad. And I think it's just a case of, we have to keep on top of this because it's going to change and evolve rapidly. And if you're on top of it, then you'll evolve with it.
Yeah.
And if you just leave it behind,
isn't it? Starting, being part of the sort of the curve.
And sort of Python came out in Excel a little while back.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Chat GPT was trained a year ago, 2 years ago. So it had no concept of that. So I just said to it, imagine Python could run in Excel and that these libraries existed in Excel. Help me write some Python code to do this in Excel. And it pretty much got there. I didn't know any Python, but I managed to run some Python and learn from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
wow.
Pretty cool.
Very good.
So there you go. That wraps it up, folks. Thank you.
Well, look at that, 9:59 on the dot.
Pretty good.
Anyone would think you're good at doing this. Lots of brilliance and wows and claps and 2 wows. Wow. Thanks, Wyn.
Cool.
Please feel free to write some questions for Wyn, or to unmute yourself and ask. You've blown my brain, quite frankly. That was absolutely
everybody
superb.
needs to start playing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take on your spiel and just start asking ChatGPT, as opposed to. Do you find it remembers what you put in? Does it know more about you? Because on
the same thread within the same day and stuff, it tends to, and even next day you can go back depending on what it did earlier.
Yeah.
And it remembers the context of what you were talking about. Just everything. Getting a quote for solar panels, asking it to compare 2 different cars that might be considered buying, everything, just all the stuff.
Yeah.
And it just gives you links for it all. So it's not only for work, it's just all the socially stuff as well. Plan a holiday for a family of 3 down to Denmark for a week. What should we do?
Yes.
What should you do when you're on holiday?
I did use it for some of that. I'm going there. What should I look at? What should I be aware of? And can I do this? So
all tailored to you, because you just give it some information about you, and then it's more tailored towards it. So it's cool.
Brilliant. Christian did that for a trip when Anthony and I went out and visited Christian in Timișoara in Romania, and he had Chat GPT plan things out for us. So that was lots of fun. No questions, I don't think, but just lots of love for you and coming your way, saying Thanks, huge thank you. I'm going to turn the recording off now. I will upload it. I put the link in the chat, but I'll pop it onto the Meetup site as well. And I don't think there's no resources really. It's just have a look at Wyn's blog post, which is in the chat and in the Meetup group, and play. So I'll stop recording.
Thank you for listening, and I hope that you got a great deal of information from the session. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to either Wyn or myself. Take care and have a great rest of the day.